welcome back to me and my channel. I'm your host CJ, and here we are going over Total War Warhammer 2 Skaven. Now, Warhammer is a fantastic lore-based game. I've loved it. I still love it. It's fantastic. I've been wanting to get into the miniatures for some time, but that's expensive. But closest thing to $60 every so often with some DLC. Creative Assembly does a fantastic job with their Warhammer franchise, and props to them. But the Skaven, in particular, more so than the Dark Elves, High Elves, or Lizardmen in the upcoming Warhammer 2, are a very interesting race I have been longing for. They are a Chaos faction, and if anything, they're more of a dangerous Chaos faction than even the Beastmen, the Norska, or even Chaos faction itself. They have what's called the Under Empire, where they have been building their empire larger than many empires combined. Huge, all underground, and nobody has known about it. But I have been loving the Skaven. Warhammer Vermintide, that's also a good game. They also I like how they depict the Skaven in it. Essentially, that's Left 4 Dead game reskin for Warhammer. Fantastic game, don't get me wrong, and I would recommend it. But Skaven haven't had a good proper. Many of Warhammer hasn't had a good proper game or recognition in its own until now. Creative Assembly. As noted, I have been excited. So we're going to do a little bit in-depth trailer about the Skaven and see what units we see. Of course, everything is terms to change, but I'm going to go off of the base lore and try not to make too many speculations. But before we get into this, if you like all this, I'm going to be trying to do some more. I know I've been a little lacking on the videos. A lot of school, a lot of work has been going on. But give a like, give a subscribe, and really help the channel out. And I'll be able to do this a little bit more often than usual. But let's hop right on into it. The Skaven. All those numbers. Well, right there, take a pause. I mean, we got the numbers, we got the whole numbers portion. The Skaven are a swarming faction. They have the superior numbers, but at the same time, they don't care for their own numbers. They'll run them over with their own doom wheels, which we'll see later in the trailer. They'll trample their own kind. For every 100 soldiers or so, the general army may have, the Skaven might have 1,000 for it. Skaven, like I said, they're a numbers-based faction. And yeah, they have specialty units like the Rat Ogre, a melee specialist unit. Looking forward to this one. This one is definitely going to be the brute strength. So either it will fall in the heroes category, or it'll fall in the monstrous unit. Hopefully, we might see a unit that might have a couple of these guys in them. But one is more than powerful enough, and we'll definitely see how they go. But as a single large hero, of course, they'll still be vulnerable to halberdiers, spears, the whatnot, and of course, projectiles. The Globadiers. These guys, a area of denier, a crowd control unit. So this makes the Skaven really dangerous if you know how to play them. So using those superior numbers that the Skaven have, pull a Ramsey Bolton around your Jon Snow that you're facing. Use your superior numbers and circle them. A couple of these guys pop up with these green glowing balls on their hips. They throw them and they gas the enemy. It's very dangerous. And it's very, very deadly. But this also brings another point up. If we look in the back right-hand corner, we see a siege cannon or a harpoon of sorts. Or at least it looks to be. This could also be a machinery used to make other machinery. But we'll find out a little bit more about this one. But the Globadiers are the main focus here. And this brings up another point. With a lot of these units, like the Globadiers, or maybe the Siege Cannon, or the Doom Wheel, which we'll see in a bit, the the Skaven need to have these warp stones to be able to power them. And the warp stones are very rare. And I imagine they're going to probably play the warp stones like the amber for the wood elves, um, in order to feel more units or better units, or these units that need these machinery. You have to have more warp stones. And the Skaven, I imagine, are going to have probably a feature for that, like how the amber was for the wood elves. At the same time, I also wonder, touching upon that subject of how the Skaven might play, is there's 13 different clans for the Skaven, or they're supposed to be. I wonder how they're going to do that. There might be Skaven versus Skaven, one clan versus another clan, or I wonder if there'll be one big clan and they'll just be playing it that way. They'll just say the clans have united or whatnot. So we'll have to see. But I imagine they'll probably do separate clans. That's what they did with the Wood Elves and whatnot. Like the most biggest populous clans. The Bell. Some dead Dark Elves. Dead Lizardmen. I like the Lizardmen, but the Skaven beat out. So we got a little bit of a snippet there. See if I can try to pause it. This red rat, I know it's a little bit of a zoom up. So either this is going to be playing, this red rat is going to be playing as a normal warlord, your general, or it'll be playing as a elite unit, because we do see some of these red rats later on in the video, and I don't know which way Crave Assembly is going to go. Again, with the miniatures that I'm familiar with in the tabletop lore, the red rats, it's open to interpretation how you paint them or what details you paint them with. But I imagine this is probably going to be how the warlord, your general of the rat army. See, there's a couple there. You got the rat ogres in the distance. You got the Globadier right here, and you got the swarm of Skaven coming in. Just look at all those numbers. But they definitely got the numbers. And now, numbers don't mean a lot in terms of fighting. I mean, you do want to have good quality troops. And that's the thing about the Skaven. They do have those quality troops. They do have those specific units. They do have the Rat Ogre. They do have the Globadier. They do have Cultist, Skaven. They do have they got this. The Doom Wheel. Get some air. The Doom Wheel. So this is another machinery piece by the Skaven that uses those warp stones to power it. And honestly, it's faster than I thought in this trailer. It even ran down some of its own units. Again, that's the Skaven not caring for its own kind. But this, the Doom Wheel, this is made to punch holes and run down units easily, whether it be halberdiers, whether it be spears. It's made to break the enemy line. And granted, you don't want these things to get slowed down or bogged down, because then they're going to take a lot of damage. You want to keep them fast. You want to keep them spinning. And if we look in here, or if you saw during the last couple seconds, there's a couple rats in here helping spin the wheel like a gerbil. But altogether, it's going to be a fantastic piece of unique machinery. Spears, polearms. The Rattling Gunners. Another unit. So this one definitely uses the warp stone energy. We see another one here with a Rattling Gunner. We see another one here. The first one, the secondary one. So I imagine this is actually probably going to be a bit of a unit altogether. There might be a couple of these guys, but the key part here is these guys' backpacks, the secondaries. As you can see, he's spinning a crank to help power the rattling gun. And on his backpack is the actual machinery used to help power and feed the gun. But there isn't gunpowder, there isn't bullets, there isn't lead and all that stuff. That's magic. That's magic from the warp stones. Again, they're going to need warp stones to power such units like these and the Doom Wheel, particularly these and the Doom Wheel, if nothing else. Magical plague rats, rat ogres, rattling warlord. Now this dark elves dragon, and then this abomination. Pause the video here. Wow. So you want to talk about beasts? This is a weird beast. You see it's got plenty of scars, got plenty of stuff. In fact, if we look up here, we see a rat's head. We see bits of rats. We see multiple limbs, sort of Frankenstein together, hacked together. And so this is, again, the Skaven. They don't care for precision. They don't care for making it work all together. And in fact, if we see anything here, there's vials of glowstone. Not glowstone, vials of the warp stone, correction, helping try to power and keep this creature alive. The tongue even looks like it's maybe warp stone itself, but all together, abomination, a monstrous beast. And imagine it's gonna be a pretty penny on the unit's roster, but taking on an enemy dragon might be the proper price for it. So that is the Skaven. And the Skaven, I mean, this isn't no unit roster review. This isn't a full review of it. It's what we see in this trailer. And this trailer has definitely got some goodies for the Skaven. So I imagine the Skaven are going to be the Chaos faction Warhammer 2, more so than the Chaos faction was for Warhammer 1. I mean, the Beastmen are cool, Norska's cool, the Chaos faction's cool, but the Skaven are actually going to be a proper the end time bringer here. And honestly, if you really look at it, they're really the biggest threat. They have this empire called the Under Empire, which is underground, under everybody's feet, and it's the biggest empire with the most numerous units. It's definitely a trifling force to deal with. And but yeah, we're gonna have to see how the Skaven is. But oh man, so much hype. And I mean, talk about hype train, but instead of choo choo, it's squeak squeak. Look, it's so excited, super stoked for it. But right now, yeah, that's just the detailing about the Skaven. And hopefully Creative Assembly will bring out some more information as we get closer to the date of the release, which I do believe is September 29th. 28th, correction. But altogether, it's going to be fantastic. Till next time, keep it easy, keep it peasy, and I'll catch you then.